In the grim darkness of the far future, life sucks. Death is around every corner, with billions dying every single day from something. A bolt round to the face being shot for asking the basic question of could you get a raise or eat more than one corpse starch as your daily ration, while working in horrid conditions, with the endless wars going on around you every single day. But maybe, just maybe, if you are lucky, you'll become infected with an illness. And you might be thinking, why is that a good thing? Well, that is because you have been blessed by the only thing in the entire galaxy that cares about you, that cares about who you are and your role in the grand scheme of the universe. The Grandfather, Nurgle. Yes, while you are sick, you have been chosen by Nurgle to receive one of his many, many gifts of plague and sickness. But don't worry though. I know you might be in pain, but don't worry. Nurgle will make all your pain go away if you are willing to worship him. So how about this? I'll tell you some pros and cons on why you should worship Nurgle. So before we go over the pros and cons, let me tell you who Nurgle is first. Nurgle is the chaos god of rot, death, decay, despair, and hopelessness, along with plague. His main gimmick, of course, being his sickness. Now that seems bad, but he is also the god of life and rebirth. In short, he is the cycle of life, how things are made, die, and are reborn. Now you think that a god who is so involved with death and rot would be quite grim, but Nurgle is quite the opposite. Nurgle is the nicest of the Chaos gods, for he is the only one who cares about his demons and mortal followers. Hence why some people call him the Grandfather, or Papa Nurgle. Now with that short but basic summary of the Grandfather, why would you worship him? For pros, once you start worshipping Nurgle, you'll stop feeling pain. Yes, you'll go through an intense and painful transformation, but once it's said and done, you'll no longer feel any pain. No physical or emotional pain, only happiness. Keep this in mind though when we go over the cons, as it largely depends on whether or not you're willing. Nurgle is the god that you should worship if you have a crippling fear of death. Nurgle is the god who makes you see death is inevitable, that cannot be stopped, no matter what you do. But by worshipping him though, he can stop that and make you see that it is nothing to fear, but show you that it's truly beautiful. The beauty of life and death. Granted, at the cost of you looking like a blob and smelling like an anime convention. Do you like the undead, but don't like the fact that you're a mindless husk? Then Nurgle is perfect for you, as you will still have your mind mostly intact. Unlike Korn, where your mind is as useful as a dead sex worker, not very useful for really much. Though I'm sure Slanesh will find a use for them. Sick fuck. Another pro is if you're a prick and you just want people to suffer around you just because you don't like them or for whatever reason, then Nurgle is also a good choice. If you want to worship a chaos god that won't fuck you over and actually cares about you, then Nurgle is also your best choice. Yes, Korn won't lie to you, but he doesn't give a damn about you. Only that you kill, maim, and burn in his name. Zeech will just fuck you over if it works into his plan, and Slanesh will just fuck you over in a much more literal sense. But Nurgle is like a loving father to all who worship him. Unlike mine, he gives a lot of care into his children. So if you want a good relationship with Chaos, then Nurgle is your best bet. But as much as I love Nurgle, the Grandfather, the big chunk lad, He does have some cons, and I only find it fair that I do inform you about them. Like I said before, Nurgle's love can be mixed for some of the non-believers. I do not recall the book's name, but there is a short story on how a plague was made in the form of a song, and anyone who hears it will turn into a poxwalker. There is a fan-made short story called The Lullaby Smile, written by Kane Fight. Yes, a fan-made story, but it shows the horrors of what forms a plague can take. Not just in the bacterial form, but in sound, which is fucking horrifying. The main guardsman we follow in the story eventually turns, but it's the description that is so horrifying about that. How when the plagues to take over, he feels everything as his fingers melt and his skin slops off until he's fully turned into a poxwalker. But the real horror is that he can still move his eyes and think still, but he does not control his body. He smiles wide and moves on to fight his own comrades. I'll leave the link in the description below for that story, as it is a really good story. And while it is fan-made, I sure as shit believe that it could have happened. It is also narrated by the amazing Voice in the Void, and it's awesome. I would give it a listen. It's short, but it's really good. For a more canon source, however, look at the Plague Song in Hammer and Bolter. Failing Nurgle too many times could result in you turning into a chaos ball of the worst kind. So just be aware of that. Don't walk away from the grandfather's love, or you are facing his forces. Just surrender, lay down your arms, and give yourself to the grandfather. He is accepting of all. To remind you as well, by joining Nurgle, you're going to have your insides on the outside of your body. It smells like a 3-day anime convention. Now, if you're like most people and wash almost every day and understand that hygiene is important, then don't go for Nurgle. There is also the fact that you will look horrible to all but others like you. Another con is you will be slow, and I mean slow. Unlike the other followers of Chaos, Nurgle's forces and worshippers, yes, will be tanky as hell, but move slower than my grandfather down a flight of stairs. You'll get where you need to be eventually, but it takes forever to get there. And that really is all I can say for cons for Nurgle. So what do you think? Would you like to worship Nurgle? Would you worship Nurgle and let him take you into his loving arms? Would you spread his love over the galaxy, or would you worship someone else? Let me know in the comments below, and please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I tried really hard this time. I'm a huge fan of Nurgle, as you can tell, so I gave it my all. So I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Be happy, stay happy, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now. I also don't care what anyone says. Nurgle has bigger breasts than Slanesh. So if you are worshiping Slanesh because she has bigger tits, then you're worshiping the wrong god. I don't know what to tell you. You're worshiping the wrong god. I don't know what I can say. You know it. Now you look stupid now, don't you, Slanesh worshippers? That's right. You're worshiping the wrong god.